evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Sports Exchange. I have the fearsome fivesome in the house tonight, just following Pundit. And over to my left, Candy Ebling. Welcome back to the big show.
Thanks, Scott. Great to be here.
And since I'm the Motor City Madmouth in the middle, to my right is Smoking Jeremy Ballrock.
How's everybody doing?
Doing great. Look at the shirt. Look at the hat. The guy is dressing up. He's making it big time. Long time no see. Jacob Crisser, about 20 seconds.
13. Who's counting?
Oh, good. If you count 20 and 13, that's 33. That's my lucky number. Good stuff.
Hey, my favorite number.
Yeah, there you go.
Mine Scott's too. Never good with math, so hey, that was good.
That's really good. That was good synergy that we never really even thought about. And last but not least, Denzel, the amazing Snipes. Whenever we get in a bind, we turn to Denzel, and this guy is extremely reliable. So good stuff, Denzel.
What's up, Will?
You talk about my great relief pitcher. This guy is it. And yet he has some of the best introductions on the planet. Okay, when I come on his shows, but I'll tell you, they're off the charts. All right, let me give you an overview of what we're talking about tonight. Messi, Bronny, Rodgers, and a whole lot more. So let's lead it off with Lionel Messi. Nets, 2 goals, 1 assist in Inter Miami's 4-0 win over Atlanta last night. Had a game winner in his debut last week. All right, Candy, you know what? You're the local one in town. What do you think about Lionel Messi?
Let's face it, we all know he brought with him a contingent, not only media, not only fans, but he also brought some of his best players with him that want to come and be a part of what he is building here in MLS, here in Inter Miami. Congratulations to them, because to be honest with you, we were at many of the games last year, and they just lacked enthusiasm. I mean, their fans come, and you have to admit, their fans sit through the rain for anything. Like, they are devoted. You talk about fans devoted. They are some of the most devoted fans. I'm proud and happy to say that they're getting their money's worth, because he's a superstar, and some people say he's a has-been, but he's drawing the crowds and he's providing the entertainment on the field. Awesome. Good for them.
Yeah, even before they had Messi, you're right, Candy. When we covered him a year ago, of all the sports teams down here, this Inter Miami fan base is one of the most rabid ones I've seen in this area. So, you know, his arrival is only enhancing it, but I was impressed with what they had done before at Drive Bank Stadium. All right, Jeremy.
What did I say? He's going to be a goal scorer. He's going to be the reason that they actually win games if they can. I said that right away as soon as they signed him. And so far, what has he done? They're 2-0 since he started, right? So now they're 7-14 instead of 5-14. Congratulations, you're winning games.
And good. And you know what you're doing?
Yeah, Messi brings...
Well, all right, Candy, you handle all the chats.
Messi brings so much fans, media, and other things to the MLS, will make other players want to play in the MLS. When it is used to be the English Premier League and German Bundesliga and Spanish La Liga. Very good.
All right, Jacob.
Well, even I knew he'd be something else. It's like even last week when I'm sorry about that. It's like what I was going to say, what I said, what he would do. I said that he would hit one off the post, and I said he'd get an assist. It was 1-1 into the 85th minute, and then he scored. You know, so he scored, so I was proven wrong in that. Then he get 2 more right then and there. Of course, you knew he was going to do something. You know, my prediction, excuse me. And it's like you knew he was going to do something like this, but remember this part. I never saw an Inter Miami jersey here in Atlanta at all, ever, before this. I have seen 7 this week. I have seen 7 this week. And it's like this telling you his star power right off the bat. And it is also showing this also could bring a Ronaldo. This also could bring Mbappe's getting that amount of money from Saudi.
Holy
but I mean, he's getting all that money from Saudi, but I can see him. Here's the deal. His is cash. He's probably going to get the partial ownership of a team if he comes into MLB, because cash is never going to last itself long. Somebody brought that up on Pundit.
Right.
So, but either way, though, this is wonderful, and you're going to start seeing 70 and 80,000 seat stadiums where they're going to be playing exhibitions. So it's good for them,
Okay, Denzel, you have the last word on this.
Man, I mean, he came in, he wasted no time. What was stats so far? He got 1 assist and 2 goals, including a game winner. I mean, when you take an international superstar and you bring him stateside and you pay him a truckload of money, this is what everyone knows, that when he is called upon, he brings it. And what a time to be alive in South Florida, because you got Inter Miami and they're looking alive again. They got Lionel Messi, one of the 3-4 biggest stars in the world sports wise. The Panthers, they made the Stanley Cup. Of course, the Heat made the NBA Finals. The Miami Marlins are finally doing good. They have a shot at actually winning the division. All I got to say is, Tua Tagovailoa, it's on you, pal.
Better step up.
Yeah, better stick.
I will say that there has been a little bit of chatter that they might move Inter Miami games to Hard Rock Stadium, because their stadium right now, they're playing in a small remade stadium that only holds 19 to 20,000 fans, and they're selling out, obviously. If they moved it to a bigger stadium, more cash, more money.
Of course.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's the first time I've heard it, but that'd be a good move if they make it. Okay. All right, good. Well, then again, Candy, she comes up with great information while I'm on the air. Our crack expert here continues to update us. All right, let's go on to another topic. I'm not really thrilled about it, but I have no choice.
Ronnie?
Yeah, that's it. No, Bronny James, 18, USC Trojans committed May 6th, is in stable condition after suffering cardiac arrest during practice. I'll tell you what, before we go on to Bronny, I hate to bring these things up, but I have no choice. Hank Gathers, Loyola Marymount, died 1990, age 23, from a cardiac incident. Reggie Brown died July 27th, Boston Celtics, cardiac arrest, age 27. My goodness. Okay, let's talk about Bronny first. Okay, Ken, you'll be last going forward. And then we'll go on to Hank Gathers and Reggie Brown. Okay, what's your take on this, Jeremy?
Well, it reminds me, with Bronny being so young, of the young kid down there near Heartland, Michigan, that passed away of a heart attack, and his team went forward and actually only put 4 men on the feet on the court for the last 2 minutes, just so they wouldn't have to forfeit the game. It's a shame. I'm glad he's stable. I'm glad he made it. But the fact that it's happening more and more with these younger people means that there has to be better cardiac testing in the physicals going forward for sports, because it's happening with non-contact stuff, not just what happened with DeMar Hamlin, not what happened back in the day with Chuck Hughes. We're talking it's happening in non-contact situations. So I think they need to strengthen the physical side through doctors with better heart checkups.
Any comments on Hank Gathers and Reggie Brown?
No, not really, because that's a little before my time.
No, that's okay. No.
Aren't you older than me?
I didn't pay attention to basketball.
Yeah, but you know what I heard about the situation in Hank Gathers' case? I had done a little homework on that. Is he started to get a little sick before the ultimate accident took place, and the doctor should have been a little bit further ahead of this whole thing. It really does. So it's okay, Jeremy. I'll let you defer on him and Reggie Brown, but those are both tragic stories of young players who had their whole life ahead of them that could have been unbelievable players, but they passed prematurely at the age of 23 and 27, respectively. Speaking of Hank Gathers and Reggie Brown. Okay, Jacob.
Reggie Lewis, by the way.
Oh, that's right. Reggie Lewis. Okay.
Yeah. But no, here's the thing, too. Bronny got very, very lucky in one situation. This is where Hank Gathers could have had, but he didn't. He was from a poor family, everything like that. He'd had his the initial collapse. They gave him medicine that wasn't agreeing with his game, so he got out of it. And then also, that's not going to happen with Bronny. He's going to have the very best cardiologists around him because his dad is LeBron. But here's the thing about this. There are ding-dongs and idiots on the Twitters all of a sudden bringing up the vax. Let me bring this up.
That's the second time you've stolen something from me. Go ahead.
Yeah. Of course I do, because great minds think alike. Thank you. But no, here's the thing. It's like this is the thing about the vax, though. If it's a vax, that's not the point. Do this in the 90s. And that vax makes no difference because people weren't so hooked on the medicines that they're constantly given. They're given. You got all these athletes. You get all these athletes. You think these athletes are not? Do you think these athletes aren't on Ritalin? They're not on Adderall. They're not on all that kind of stuff like that. Xanax. Bunch of them are. They have the prescription meds. So the biggest thing about it is the fact, and good point, Will. And the biggest thing with something like this is they are over pushing themselves. They're in AAU all the darn time. They train like crazy. They get all this. They don't. You got to realize something. Someone like Wayne Gretzky, he put away the sticks to go play baseball. He was a pitcher. He put the sticks away in the winter. He didn't overdo it. Number one, we overdo it. Number two, these kids are on medicines. Tons of them are. I was in a martial arts class years ago where this 6-year-old kid who had ADD, 6, 7, 8 years old or whatever, my martial arts teacher said, get him off of that. Get him off of it. I guarantee he'll be fine by the time he's a green belt. He was off of it, and he was fine by the time he was a green belt. But they don't do that anymore. That was 20 years ago. They keep them on medicines all the time, and then you had vaccine. So I'm not talking about the vaccine did it. I'm talking about you're having a vicious cocktail with a lot of people, and then you've also got going 24/7 with your training and your basketball or baseball or whatever. It's like everything is a vicious cocktail. It's not just as simple as the vax. No, use your heads just 1 second, people.
Okay, well, you know what? I want to go to the chat room, and I know Jeremy will read them when they go up. Okay, but Wayne Weinstein has an interesting point. Although it's not cardiac related, Len Bias's career came prematurely. Obviously, I believe it was drugs, if I remember right.
Yes.
Okay, so and then obviously he says that although it was a very much different circumstances.
Yep.
But still, you have another kid that died, and Boston unfortunately got the wrong end of that lottery pick.
There's two instances of this. 12 years ago was Wes Leonard of Fenville. He hit a game-winning shot in overtime and died of a heart attack with no contact.
Really?
That was when they changed how youth physicals were done. And then just this past season, Northwestern High School in Flint, Michigan, Cartier Woods, a senior, passed away at 18.
Wow.
He had the heart attack on the court and then died on February 6th in the hospital.
What a shame. That is
so it's still happening. There's all sorts of things it could be attributed to. They didn't get into that in the article. They just gave the details of what happened to him and when he passed away. I just wanted to share that we've got other instances of young players passing away due to heart attacks.
Thank you, Jeremy. Much appreciated. Okay, on to the next subject. A little bit.
Denzel.
Oh yeah, Denzel. Oh, I'm losing it. Okay,
Almost
maybe I was having this stuff that Jacob went ahead and had. So, but anyways, at least it hasn't affected me totally. All right, go ahead, Dan. Sorry.
I almost said skip me altogether because Jacob said literally everything I was going to say. Now I'll just say this much without repeating it, and that is whether you took the vax or not, we're not here for that. Okay, all I'm here to say is this is my counterpunch to those conspiracy theories. Is there's much worse stuff out there. It's killing people, okay? You're so worried about the vaccine. And if you don't take it, that's fine. If you do take it, that's fine, okay? But there's much worse stuff like, I don't know, fentanyl that's killing people left and right. So, yeah, what about that? So, but also, and this is another thing as well, and granted, these are athletes that are in tip-top shape, but this, and Scott, you said you had an appointment today or something like that, but whenever they do a physical at doctor's appointments, you know what they take a look at? Family history.
Oh yeah,
that is a factor. Now, that's not to put the James family's business out there. All I'm saying is it's gonna be a little bit more factors than just getting pricked back in 2020.
Okay, everybody have it. What about you, Candy?
So this isn't the first time USC has had to deal with it. The medical staff had recent experience with such an incident last July. UFC freshman forward Vince, and I apologize, I'm not going to pronounce his name right, Iwuchukwu suffered a cardiac arrest during a summer workout. He had felt dizzy during a practice water break, and he collapsed. Cardiac arrest. Now, he did not die. They brought him back to life. I mean, they worked on him. The medical staff worked on him.
Did
Denzel, I know
Bronny
you want to
pass
say
away?
something.
I would, yeah, I was. Corey Stringer, but his was heat related. But he was still a young guy.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
no, I remember that real well.
That was the Vikings D end, wasn't it? Or
Yes,
alignment?
yes, it was. Mm-hmm.
Right. And of course I lived the Chuck Hughes situation, and as I said time and time again, that's the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen. And when we talk about DeMar Hamlin, he was actually the beneficiary of much more advanced medicine, thankfully. Go ahead, Jeremy. What do you want to add to that?
Thank God, DeMar Hamlin took the field at practice today for training
Right.
camp. Kudos to him that he's cleared medically to play. And for all those people that said it wasn't him during the playoffs up in that box cheering his team on, shame on you.
Right. Kane, anything else?
Real quick, Jeremy. I'm happy he says all right. I mean, he does want to play football, but this goes back to the point that I made. He's on that football field. If he was in his fifth year, he's probably gone because he has his pension. He's on that football field because he doesn't have a pension yet, and they didn't. And the collective bargaining agreement did not help someone like him.
Mm-hmm. One quick
No,
thing.
that's okay.
I said this on the gauntlet. Bart Scott, you're still a sports moron for saying that was T. Higgins' fault.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Candy, last word on this?
I would just say prayers to Bronny. I hope you recover and make a full recovery and can get back to life as you know it and what you want to do with your life.
Yeah, you know what? I'll double on that too. And I don't think LeBron James at the present time is worried about playing with his son Bronny anytime soon. His main objective is making sure that Bronny has a normal life, that everything is functioning properly. And I think the move actually to go to USC is going to turn out to be a great move after all, because let's face it, he is playing at home with his dad nearby. So family's in the area, and USC does have a pretty good, strong medical team. So, and you know what? I like USC, UCLA. I've always enjoyed going to LA, and they run things pretty well out there. So everybody's talked about it. I'm going to start with Candy and everybody around me, and I'll be the last word. Tracy McGrady on the hype surrounding Victor Wembanyama. I'm just going to say the hype is crazy to me. It's too much. I've seen this before. All right, Candy.
If you don't hype your sport and build it up, what are you doing? It's a marketing ploy. You're trying to build everybody up. You want to talk about it because you want to be in the news right now when, let's face it, how many people are talking NBA right now? But now we're talking about it. Marketing it.
Okay, as far as McGrady, I do believe him 100%, though. We've seen this before. I don't want to put too much pressure on Victor Wembanyama, but the reality is let the kid play an actual NBA game when it counts before we start hyping him. I realize Candy's right. It's all about marketing, but please, the Summer League and what he's done, we already know that the NBA lottery system is extremely flawed anyways, but still, give Victor a break. Give Victor a break here, okay? And we'll just see how it plays out. Although I have another guy who made an interesting comment about him that I'll leave later. All right, Jeremy, you're mumbling. Now you can say what you said, and so we can all hear it.
You brought up the draft lottery, and I said he should have been a Piston because the draft lottery is about as ignorant as wiping your butt and then going to take the crap.
There you go. Well, I'm glad we got to hear it regular.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. That being said, Victor Wembanyama is an excellent talent. The problem that I have with him, and I'm glad, and I'm going to say this now, he should have been a Piston, but I'm glad he's not. Because what has he done 2 of the 3 seasons he was in NBA Europe? He missed the playoffs due to injury because of his growth condition. So you got a guy that misses a third of the season and has missed 2 playoffs. Right. That is not a good thing to have going into the NBA where the rigors are much harder on your body than NBA Europe.
Good point, Jeremy, especially for a sport that you obviously don't follow as much compared to the other ones. So I really like your points. All right, Jacob.
I'm actually halfway because I spent years not other than what we had to do for our shows. And real quickly, Will, yes, but people are forgetting that LeBron was enormous from like 12 years old. And this is what the people are saying it's bigger than LeBron's. I saw LeBron at 12 years old on CBS News on the thing. It's like he was enormous already. You know what I'm saying? So he came through. But I'm actually, because of this kid, because of some of the people that came through, I'm actually halfway interested in the NBA again. Because here's the thing. I saw that kid playing it with Europe, from YouTube and whatever. The knowledge he has is exceptionally old school, off the ball and everything like that, and the angles that he understands. It's not just using his height. It's not just using everything. He's got passing knowledge. He's got shooting. He knows where to shoot. He's got angles. He knows what to do off the ball. He impresses me, and guess what? I want to see what he does. And guess what? I haven't been that interested in the NBA for a very long time.
All right, Denzel.
To both Jacob and Jeremy's points, actually helping me kind of make mine here. Listen, I get it. The kid's a great talent and everything. He's 7 foot, 5, something like that. Jacob and I discussed his preseason game and his stats and how it's considered a slow game and such, and how it's like, hey, you know what? With those stats, he's actually in great hands. But let's pump the brakes a little bit, people. Okay. I'm going to mention some names. George Murison, Sean Bradley, Bryant Big Country Reeves, Yao freaking Ming, and he's in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Injury prone or bust. This is what happens with hype. We have read this book before. We know how it ends. Slow your roll.
All right, Denzel, I want you to repeat those names because you had some pretty good ones there. I know you had Yao Ming, right?
Mm-hmm. George Murison.
That's the one that stuck out with me because he has the same growth condition that Wembanyama has, and that's what leads to the injury prone.
The injuries, yep. There was Sean Bradley, and Sean Bradley was like 7 foot.
Yeah, I know.
6, something like that.
I was actually at the draft at the Palace of Auburn Hills when his name was called.
Oh man! And I also had Bryant Reeves, who actually I think may have lasted a tad bit longer than the other two. But to be fair to Reeves, he was on the Grizzlies when the Grizzlies sucked, so I'm not gonna. But he was out of the league sooner than he should have.
Yeah, but you know what? Will comes up with a good one. I like this one. Chet Holmgren is a good one. Yeah, that was a good one. Good job, Will. That was really good. All right. With that said, okay, before we go on to the next topic, just so you know, the Sports Exchange is being broadcast around the world. The audio version of the show can be heard on iHeartRadio, Apple, Spotify, Google, wherever you get your podcast. Please hit the red subscribe button on YouTube, South Florida Tribune. We're striving for 1,000 subscribers. Please also comment, like, and share the broadcast. Want to be a guest? No problem. Participate in the chat room. That's one way to do it. I know we're due to get Wayne Weinstein back in the not-so-distant future. Send your topic ideas to southfloridatribune@gmail.com. If you want to advertise cost-efficiently, call me 954-304-4941. We broadcast live on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. Our website is www.southfloridatribune.com. On Twitter, @Tribune South. Candy Ebling is not behind the scenes tonight. She's in front of us. Okay, coming up later this summer, the Motor City Mad Mouth show will be debuting on the Eagle Corp Media Studios in Boca Raton, Florida. It'll be co-hosted by the owner, Dr. Edwin Hernandez, and I. Can you imagine what that's going to be like? A newbie, 45 years old, against a 60-year-old like me, and in the eyes of Dr. Edwin, I love it. Okay, there you go. So we'll be keeping you posted. Eagle Corp is a technology-based company for which I am the president of broadcasting, and also working on a book that the Eagle Corp will market for me called Adjusting to New Media. Looking forward to getting it out. I'm working very diligently to get it done. I'm averaging about 5-6 hours a day on the manuscript. Hopefully we'll have it out soon enough. All right, now that we're halfway through the show, this is a topic Candy Ebling is all too familiar with. Look at that Wisconsin smile. Look at his smile now.
Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, there you go. Look at that. If that isn't a Wisconsin smile, I don't know what it is. All right, nevertheless, okay. The report is Jets Aaron Rodgers restructures his deal for 2 years, $75 million guaranteed. Candy, what do you think?
Tells me that his deals with the Packers were all very motivated to screw the management. He was upset and pissed once we drafted Love, even though he kept telling us, "Oh no, it's okay. It's okay." No, we hurt your feelings, so you wanted to hurt us. Well, thank you, Aaron. Now you can go play with your Jets. You can take less money, restructure it. It's actually a 5-year deal, so they move some of the bonuses, so he still gets some of the money. It's a 2-year option. You know what? Go play there. Go have fun. Go, attend to the media and be on Hard Knocks, which you're already crying about that you have to be on Hard Knocks. Tough.
The only thing I'll say about Aaron Rodgers is this, okay? If you don't perform well in front of them, the Big Apple will make you look like a rotten apple. And I got news for you. Justin Verlander and Max Scherzer are finding out that the Big Apple isn't too kind to older pitchers, and you never know what the trade line coming up with. One or both of those guys will be gone. So underperform, Aaron, and they're not going to be as lenient as the Green Bay. Go ahead, Candy.
I want to say one more thing.
Sure.
Aaron, you want to be in the talks with Brady. You want to be a GOAT. Well, Brady went 1 year and won the Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford went 1 year and won the Super Bowl. Let's see what you do this year. Because where are you going to be in the ranks of your legacy, depending on what you do at the Jets?
I know exactly what he's going to do.
Well, good, because it's your turn to talk. Go ahead.
That's great. Aaron Rodgers will make the Super Bowl, and he will lose to the 49ers because he's a closet 49er fan, just like he was in Green Bay. He did it every year. He would sweep through everybody and lose to the 49ers.
Yep.
That being said, Aaron Rodgers was upset with management and made it known on the way out by sticking him with a dead cap that made him go, "Oh my God, we got to sign rookies now." That's true. That being said, he was tired of getting his kneecaps bit by Aiden Hutchinson, and his second favorite wide receiver last year was Kirby Joseph when he played us.
I like Dom DeRuba's comment. Scott Morganroth, it's a mess. Do you really expect any different? You know what, Dom? You're right. No.
Yeah.
I'll leave that. All right, we'll turn it over to Jacob. Go ahead.
You know something? Not only did he leave him with dead cap to be able to sign, he had to sign rookies and everything like that. He left him with Jordan Love, who is a miserable quarterback, and he will be miserable there. And they're going to see it 1 year, and they're going to have to draft. And I was saying this, and I didn't just start this just to be this Bears fan. No, I don't do that. I'm saying this because I said it 3 years ago because I used to watch it in Nevada. This is not good. It's not going to be good for Richardson either, Anthony Richardson. It's like you get desperate. What you get is you get egotistical coaches that get desperate and have this, "Oh, we're going to change this." Jordan Love never looked good the times he played with they played on maybe a couple of times in the preseason, but those are grocery baggers. He never looked good to begin with on those type of things in the first place, and I think they averaged maybe 13 points a game in the times he played. And it's like in the times he played, he's not good, and then they're going to leave it to it. And now they're going to be a top 5 draft, and they're going to have to go get a quarterback. And the thing about that. Okay, so Aaron Rodgers, I don't think he's gonna do anything in New York, but I mean, it is what it is. He had his legacy, and he's definitely not Brady.
Okay, Denzel.
And
I love your
with the X pick in the 2025 NFL draft, the Green Bay Packers select Caleb Williams, quarterback, USC.
2024. 2024.
It'd be 24. Yeah, it'll be 24. You know what Candy's commentary actually reminded me of is when Brett Favre left, because they said the same thing. They was how he was such a drama queen and everything, and then Rodgers came along and kind of made everything better. The world just kind of forgot about Favre unless he was playing on your team, you know. So who knows? And we've seen crazier things in sports. Love may actually do decent, and things may look up. Now, granted, in Jordan Love's only start, and I'll be a little generous here. In Jordan Love's only start, to be fair, he played at Arrowhead. It's not like he faced us. It's not like he faced, like any bottom team.
You would have won anyway. You would have won anyway. Even if you guys, you would have won anyway. I said 4 years ago when he was drafted, I said this. I said he will not win a game he might have a chance to win a game, but he hasn't been on that thing by itself. He's not that good. He's not the good, period. His decision making is going to be shoddy, he played in Arrowhead, but his decision making is absolutely shoddy. He's a bit athletic, but then there's that. And guess what? I believe in that Caleb Williams thing is going to Green Bay. Absolutely.
And you know what? He is working on getting a rapport with Christian Watson. Because I can tell you, if we're talking about recent quarterbacks drafted in recent years, you know who Jordan Love actually is way better than? Malik Willis. Yes, I said it. Malik Willis. He's miles better than Malik. Okay, so
that's why I call him a bottom 3 quarterback, because there's Malik Willis and Levis. And then Richardson. So it's bottom 4 quarterback. So it's like that. That's why I said bottom 3, bottom 4 quarterback. Other than that, there's no one else he's better than.
Yeah. I mean, I can take that for right now. I mean, and who knows? But as for old Broadway Rodgers, he's getting his money. He's kind of the face of the league now that number 12's gone. The other number 12. So I mean, we'll see what happens. There's no other athlete, in my opinion, other than that guy in Los Angeles that dominates the media like Aaron Rodgers. And he's in the perfect place in the Big Apple.
All right, well, you know what? Our next topic is going to be one that Denzel Snipes is going to comment on first. And I'm going in a different order this time around. And I'll tell you why. Ex-NBAer Olden Polynice, who I saw with the Detroit Pistons, compares Wembanyama to Sean Bradley. So, I know. Those are laughs that'll kill a Memorex. So, and Bill Lambier used to call Olden Polynice Opie. No, not an Opie.
I call him Opie. I'm calling him opioid. I'm calling it opioid right now after saying that.
Denzel will love my nickname when we get
to anyways, Denzel, you brought up Sean Bradley. We got to carry this bad boy on. So Olden Polynice compares Wembanyama to Sean Bradley. Do you agree?
Thank you, Olden Polynice, for ending this man's career before it even began. Yeah. Of all the people, now, granted, okay, my commentary aside, right? Because I mean, I'll stand on that hill. But the only reason why I stand on that hill is because of the media. And see, it's stuff like this, you know. But I guess to a certain extent, Olden Polynice gets it. He just kind of put him in that bucket already before he could even make it to that bucket. You know what I mean? Like, it remains. My point is it remains to be seen. I don't know anything about his play style but I think he's way more talented than Sean Bradley ever was. But to Jeremy's point, it's the injuries. Can this man stay healthy given his size? You know, and that's just the point that I made about Yao Ming. Yao should have played longer, but he was too hampered by injuries because of his size. You know, so I mean, I'm going to say he's a lot more talented than Sean Bradley. Well, it still remains to be seen, but that's just really funny how I brought that up, and then I lead off the one with Olden Polynice, like kind of saying the same thing.
I mean, come on. When I saw this, okay, and I'm thinking Olden Polynice was a guy that I actually covered back at the Palace of Auburn Hills. Mm-hmm. You know, Olden was a banger. He really was. He knew how to bang. Then again, everybody back then were bangers. That's why we do Basket Bros so well. Okay, absolutely. Because we talk about everything good about basketball, not everything bad about it, the NBA. But you know what? I'm going to side on with Olden Polynice that, you know, this guy could be a Sean Bradley if he doesn't beef up, you know, and stay healthy. I mean, how many times we've seen big centers that are string beans not make it? Sam Bowie wasn't that great either. I mean, we also, what happened, injuries it's not that they're not great. They just don't hold up. Don't hold up.
Before you move on real quick, as far as basketball players of that build, right. I mean, like the string being and that height. You know who actually, outside of that injury in 2019, you know who kind of relatively made out scot-free? Kevin Durant. Because we've all said he needed to put on weight. We all said it, you know? But somehow he managed to. Now, I think the Warriors front office misplayed that calf injury, and they kind of got their just desserts, but that's neither here nor there. But outside of that, like if you take away that, he's been relatively healthy his whole career, and he's a 7-footer at like 180 pounds. So there you go.
Patty Grimes brought up another good one here. Greg Oden.
Oh yeah.
That's more like it.
Greg Oden looks like LeBron James in 20 years.
Greg Oden looked like LeBron James at 12.
Hey, by the way, Tori Harmon is checking in with us from Kansas City.
Hey, Big Tori, what's up, man?
What's up,
Hey,
Tori?
Tori, how you
What's
doing,
up,
man?
Coach
Hope
Tori?
going out in the Chiefs territory. Look at those muscles, flexing his muscles. We're supposed to talk on Sunday night, anyways. And of course, Wayne Weinstein. I'll just read everything out there. I bet moves better too. Wayne Weinstein. He's younger than Bradley and doesn't have the build yet. Well, of course not.
No, he
He's
doesn't.
a work in progress. All right, Jeremy.
No, it's just frustrating when I hear, but he doesn't do this yet, but he doesn't do that yet, but he already has the injuries starting.
Right. Exactly.
That's the problem.
Right. No, I agree. All right. So, but that said, let's turn over to Jacob. Some thoughts about Olden Polynice and Sean Bradley connected.
Saying something like that makes him opiate, the Polynice. And those bangers, it's him banging his head against the wall. That's how you come up with something so stupid. When did you ever see Sean Bradley shoot a three-pointer? Ever.
Right.
When did you see him ever play off the ball? Ever. When did you see him actually make an assist that mattered? Ever. These are the points that he's bringing. He's bringing it up because of the size. Yeah, I would like him to be able to gain some weight. I mean, I wouldn't do it. But I'm just talking about, I watch 43 years old. He's not Hulk Hogan. But it's still,
Might as well be.
No, but still, but the biggest thing, but the biggest deal about it, it's the fact that you're looking at it because of the skinny size or whatever. Sean Bradley stayed in one spot. Number one, the era was so different, so center still did the same thing.
Right.
When did Sean Bradley ever get out of the box? Ever.
Right.
When did he ever do that? It's like this job. Right now. You got 7'5" guys, 7'6" guys, 7 whatever shooting 3-pointers. It's a different era, so this is definitely not Sean Bradley. So get off the opioids. Get off whatever the hell you're taking today.
All right, Jeremy, you're animated. You're wild now. Let's see what's inside the wild side.
Okay. Well, when the Pistons finally got Olden Polynice, he had to be sent to the minor league team, the Great Lakes Storm in Birch Run, playing out of the Birch Run Expo Center. I went to watch him because I wanted to see him play. And I came up with the nickname Olden Slowpenice because he moved so slow on the floor, he couldn't get back in a fast transition on a fast break. And the other teams would just school us because we had no one to block underneath the basket or to box anybody out. So he had no one to rebound. Yes, he was bigger than everybody, but it doesn't matter if you can't get to the basket underneath there.
Okay.
That being said, Wembanyama is already having injury problems at his young age. As he gets older, he'll get heavier. As he gets heavier and those bones stretch more, they get more brittle. That is the problem with the growth condition he has.
Here's the thing, though, Jeremy. If he, hypothetical, because we know his size, and he can't help the size on that kind of thing. I have a belief in this because I actually stretch every morning just to be able to think. If he got himself into yoga, you think it would help?
For a couple of years, maybe, but eventually, like I said, with that growth condition, your bones deteriorate. That's what happened to George Mirasan, remember? He ended up having to have walking braces on just to go to sit on the bench to collect his paycheck.
Okay, Jeremy, read you start reading things in the chat room.
Olden Polynice, hop, skip, and a jump.
Very good. All right, Jeremy's manning the chat room. All right, Candy, anything you want to say about this? You've had a chance to absorb it all.
So they're they want to compare him to Bradley. Bradley was among the tallest players in the NBA history, 7'6". He averaged 8.1 points, 6.3 rebounds, and 2.5 blocks during his 12-year career.
And Wembanyama will have that in a quarter.
I was going to say, he's averaging 27 points and 12 rebounds and 3 blocks in the 2 games he appeared in Summer League. Now, granted, Summer League is not the same as NBA. I get that. But Wemba is going to be way more of a scorer. Yes, may he be injured more often, then he's not going to play as many games and maybe not as long. but he's going to have more of an impact because he is a shooter and scores way more than Bradley ever did.
Wasn't Bradley a Mormon?
Yeah, you know
Wayne
what, Wayne?
Weinstein.
Yeah, maybe, but you know what?
Take the M.
Let me,
Take one of the. Hey, take one of the M's away.
yeah,
Moron.
well, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what, Wayne? I can handle a lot of comments, but I've been to Utah before, and you know, Mormons or no Mormons, you know what? I'm not going to touch that one, whether he was or not. That's a different lifestyle, and I
Yep.
appreciate your candor there, but I'm not one to endorse something like that. You know, let's face the reality. They're a different type of religion there, and I had the chance to cover a few games in Salt Lake City. I was at a couple of Jazz games and hockey, and I'll tell you, Mormons people, the way they treated me there, they were treating me well. So sorry to steal your thunder there, pal, but that's one that just doesn't
Yep.
gravitate with me.
Patty Grimes is right though. People are putting too much on Victor already
Right.
before he even plays a regular season game.
Right.
That's the point.
Anything else anybody want to add on it? One more topic to go. All right. Panthers named number 1 pick Bryce Young, the starting quarterback. Is that premature? They got Andy Dalton in there. All right, Candy, what do you think?
I think it's a little premature because I think you haven't had enough training camp, but I like naming somebody early because then they get more of the reps with the first team during the preseason that I think they can I think they take advantage of that because I think you need more of those. And I think that's one of the things that, and we all want to say Karen Rodgers, but one of the issues was because he wasn't taking those reps in practice and preseason when he had all of those rookies. So I think it's important to name one early and let him get all the reps.
Yeah, all I'll say is I think it's a little premature. You have Andy Dalton there, but we'll see how it all plays out. I know the popular pick is Bryce Young, but the one thing that we have to not forget is Frank Reich is a coach and he's a quarterback coach. So I understand the logic behind it. It's premature. Andy Dalton, we'll see how it plays out. Go ahead. And you know what, though? You go ahead before you comment, Jeremy, on Dom.
God, he stole my thunder. I was going to call him out because at Andy Dalton, the beige water pistol, FTW, Bryce Young makes Kyler Murray look like, wait for it, Sean Bradley.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Oh, wow.
All right, let's put Will Vogel back in here. Okay.
He goes, as a Panthers fan, I would rather see Dalton for like 3 or 4 games, but I understand where they come from because he was the number 1 pick of all overall. My thing is, and here's where I'm going to go with my spark before we get to Wayne's comment real quick.
Sure. Okay.
I agree that they need to let a veteran start out because he needs to develop as a QB and practice more and have him be more on the practice squad against the first stringers with Andy Dalton leading them because it would help his development more for the future. I don't think the Panthers have the team to win the division. They have a great team, but they're not there yet.
Right.
So right now it's coming down to between, as far as I'm concerned, the Saints and Falcons in that division. And that's hard for me to say because I hate the Falcons.
Yeah, by the way, for anybody that wants to know, Baker Mayfield is in Tampa. So.
Yeah, exactly. That's another reason
Exactly.
why I said it's
I
Saints
know,
and Falcons
I know.
division to lose.
I know where
That's
you're
a
going,
shame.
Jeremy. I know. Just putting it out there. All right, now let's go to Wayne's comments, and we're going to keep the flow of the chat room going. Go ahead.
Yeah, why not start Bryce if he doesn't work out? Dalton plays. He's done this before. Dom, a couple weeks ago, allegedly, the beige water pistol said he's still starting QB material.
Okay.
Well, if you look at how he played when he was with the Saints, he had 3 great games and 1 bad game, and then they sat him.
Yeah. Okay. All right,
so he
Jacob.
actually does have a point.
Jacob, you've been waiting patiently. Go ahead.
Is Justin Fields out of people's minds just because it's a new season? I said from the get-go, see, I was with Sideline Sports on this thing. I didn't want him to play a single down that year in his rookie year. He is a wonderful runner, and he makes big plays with the arm too when he makes the plays. But he still is scared half to death to throw any short, small window throws at all. If the guy is not 27 yards open, he is afraid to throw it. He is afraid to throw it. That is a development deal. You throwing them in there too early because, we're paying them this money. This is another thing with Bryce Young. It's going to happen with him too. And he's a smart guy. But we've got to quit this. You're hurting. Justin Fields, realize he's in his fine. This is his. This is the third out of the fourth in the rookie contract. Next year, letting him go would cost nothing on the cap. Zero. This is his last shot, and it didn't have to be. It wouldn't even be talked about if he would have sat a year, because he'd be coming in off of a 1,000-yard season running, and with all those weapons coming in. Now Bryce Young's dealing with the same thing. Can coaches be allowed to coach for once in their danged lives?
Right.
Just let them develop whether it's a 7th rounder or a first. Remember, San Francisco has Purdy. Let them. Purdy was forced in, but he got to sit and they got to do that stuff like that, and they got to do that stuff, and he basically was on a leash, but he looked good for his leash. He better than Mac Jones. Good Lord.
Right.
But that's the point, though. Let coaches coach and make these guys stars. You know the last that got to do that? Andy Reid with, guess what? With Patrick Mahomes. He got to develop the guy for a year, and the guy has looked amazing from the get-go. It is time. We got to let coaches coach. We got to quit rushing this, because we're gonna. Anthony Richardson's not going to look any good. I'm sorry to say, he had 53% at Florida. The faster NFL is not going to make it look any better. I don't care what his athleticism is. Every bit of this is media garbage.
Let's go.
Period. So we've just got to let him coach.
Let's go to the chat room real quick. Jeremy's going to get us caught up. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Goff is a professional for sure, a good quarterback, but I have to admit, I can't wait to see what Hooker can do.
Neither can Jimmy G. Oh, not that Hooker.
Yeah.
Don't remember liking the starter and waiting to see what the rookie can do. I can remember it lots of times, because it used to be you draft a rookie, they sit for at least a year, if not 2 seasons,
Right.
before they ever sniff the field. That has gone away since what? Phillip Rivers and Eli Manning?
Right.
I was on my commentary. I was going to say Aaron
Joey
Rodgers.
Harrington. Actually, further back, Joey Harrington is the first one that was drafted and went straight in. Oh wait, no, there was one before that Detroit made that mistake with Andre Ware.
Yep.
Yeah, let's not go that far. I'm with you. Detroit's history outside of Matthew Stafford at position has been anything good. So I like a little bit of momentum that you have going there between Goff and Stafford. But other than that, that sort of ends. All right, let me keep rolling through. Jeremy, talk as fast as they come in. Go ahead.
Bears fans want to say Bustin Fields will take the Josh Allen.
I'm sure as heck not saying that.
I don't think the Chicago Bears have Brian Dabble as a QB coach.
All right, keep going.
Yeah, I remember
Jacob
that.
Christner, remember when Chicago
I
drafted
agree with
Fields? And I said he wouldn't survive his rookie contract there.
He has to have the season of his absolute life. It's because this is get the bag or you're going elsewhere.
Okay,
but
let's keep it going.
Tua didn't start right away either, but he did start year 1. Don't be mistaken.
Yeah,
Ryan Fitzmagic was having a winning season, and the ownership wanted to see Tua.
Yep.
All right, I want to turn over to Denzel. Then we're going to have parting shots.
And to Jeremy's point, I think the last quarterback that was allowed to develop more than 1 year before he started was Aaron Rodgers. He sat for 3 years behind Favre. He came in and started, and they won the Super Bowl within 3 years, But oh man, and Jacob has heard me rant about this. This is why I hate fans.
Same.
This can be alluded to the quarterback draft class of 2012, because you had Andrew Luck, Russell Wilson, and RG3 come out and hit the ground running. They became team captains. I think RG3 won Rookie of the Year. All 3 of them made it to the playoffs. All 3 of them did, But they hit the ground running and everything, and it was because of this. Fans all of a sudden took to the take of, well, if a quarterback doesn't hit the ground running in year 1, he's trash, And it's like they want to see box office. They want to see box office so much. And it's like, listen, box office ain't going to win you games. The box office don't win you games, period. They don't win you championships. Look at the Spurs. They were boring as hell. They won 5 titles. Look at the Patriots. They were boring as hell. They won 6. Look at the Crimson Tide. Same thing. When are you going to realize that flash and box office ain't going to win you nothing? You know? Yes,
TikTok.
I know Mahomes. I know. Yes, that too. I know Mahomes can get flashy, okay? But to Jake's point, he was allowed to develop. He sat behind Alex Smith,
Right.
who was not a bad guy out there in Kansas City. So this is what Bryce Young, I get it. Frank Wright looks at him and probably sees another Drew Brees. Okay, you know what I mean? But you gotta let him sit. I mean, I think Dalton has a few more years left in him. Let him spend those years starting and let Bryce Young develop. Stop listening to the ticker tape media who don't know what. I know they cover sports and everything, but everything is so prisoner of the moment. It's always prisoner of the moment. There's so much prisoner of the moment. The media career field has become a max security correction facility. You would think, right? I mean, you know, Bryce Young, hella talented, Heisman Trophy winner, but he definitely should sit a year unless Andy Dalton or Matt Corral gets hurt.
Injured.
I agree. Totally. Well said, Denzel. Candy, you got a comment on this one, right? Or did you? I don't remember.
I commented already.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and get to parting shots. We're going to get to the confidential ones first. Okay. Denzel, you got a quick parting shot?
Shout out to Rey Mysterio Jr.'s son, Dirty Dom Mysterio, the current NXT North American champion. He became the first in WWE history to main event a Raw, a SmackDown, and an NXT in the same week, and all 3 were title matches. I said it from the get-go that the kid was talented. I said from the get-go, if he did something in NXT, he would blow up. He's got more heat, and Jacob, we will discuss this. He's got more heat than Roman Reigns. He's got legit more heat because at least Reigns still gets cheered. Everyone hates Dom.
You want to know why he gets it though, and Dom is very, very smart doing this. You know why he does it? Because he's got Dom DeRubis's body.
There you go.
So hey, that's why if he had a build, people would believe it.
Denzel, let everybody, and by the way, Denzel, let everybody know how they can get a hold of you.
All right. At NellyNell13 on Twitter, NELL13. Also, you can find me on. We will have the final episode of Pundit Views next Monday. Guest will be Jacob. Not Jacob. Jacob is hosting. I'm producing. JB Ellis will be the final host of Pundit Views. Then the Monday following that, we will be launching the Sniper and the Pundit presents Top Rope Talk, all pro wrestling show. And the first episode is going to be a SummerSlam recap. So please tune in. Also, you can catch me on Pundit's Pundit, which we just got done doing earlier tonight. It was like an hour ago. Sometimes on here. Also, I produce Confidential, The Gauntlet Fridays, Basketball Sundays. So, or Basketball Sunday. So, I'm everywhere. You just got to catch me.
Well, we appreciate you, Denzel, coming in on short notice.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Thank
you, Candy.
I know you'll do a great job with Confidential tonight. If you want to get going to set it up, go right ahead and do it.
All right. Hey, Officer Barright, don't pull nobody over.
Wait, there was a comment directed right at Denzel. Denzel Snipes, Matt Corral just heard you say his name and his knee hurt again.
All right, well, there you go. All right, well, Denzel, again, thanks for being on here on short notice. I know you got a Confidential. We got one more Confidential guy. We're going to let him get his parting shot and his information. Jacob, go ahead. Thanks, Dan.
This is going straight into the whole situation with Confidential. I am going to talk about Kyle Hendricks here for a second. I'm going to talk about all the scouts out there right now. All these scouts that want the 100-mile-per-hour blow it by you type of pitcher. And then guess what? They have to go into surgery within 2 years because of Tommy John. Right now you're getting pitchers having elective Tommy John. One died from it. George Mason University. Because they want to be able to pitch faster, bigger, fatter. Meanwhile, Kyle Hendricks, 1 surgery in 9 years. Averages about 7 innings a start. Don't know anybody that would not take this guy to be able to give their bullpens a night off. I'm just saying, he has his bad days, do not get me wrong. Everybody does. But he is more likely to give up a run with 3 hits and with 86 pitches, 90, 95, and he even has 6 complete games in this era of no complete games. So this is saying that there is not a soul alive that would not take him. And I want to understand something. You want the flash, you want all that kind of stuff like that. You want the box office. This guy might not be box office, but guess what? He wins ball games and he's got a World Series ring.
Amen.
Get 20 Kyle Hendrickses all day long. Okay, you're going to annoy your fans, but the fans ain't going to care if they're playing in the 7th game of the World Series. The guy's throwing 88 and getting the ground balls all night. See, they want the flash now, but they don't no one cares if everything's winning. That's the way the thing goes.
All right, Jacob, let everybody know how they get a hold of you.
Sunday nights, Basket Bros. Monday nights going to be the off the top rope. It's called The Sniper and the Pundit. So we're doing that type of thing whatsoever. Tuesdays are off. Wednesdays, these 3 shows, the Pundits, Sports Exchange, and Confidential coming up. Thursday nights and Monday nights, I'm probably going to be starting up Yin and Yang again. It's the non-sports show with TJ Sampson. I'm probably going to start it up then. And then from there on out, we just got ourselves a proof of concept movie, and I'm in it. So we've got a lot of things going on right now, so we're building it on.
You're very busy, and we're glad that you come on the Sports Exchange every Wednesday night. And you don't miss any shows, and we appreciate you always being on, dependable. And I enjoy coming on Pundit. It's a lot of fun.
I appreciate you.
It's always very encouraging when everybody shows up.
One real quick thing I wanted to bring up on this: there was a story today that both Josh Harris and Magic Johnson kept bringing up the word Redskins in their thing. So there's a rumor that they're going to try to get the name back. That could be a topic for next week.
Well,
Love it.
I would love it too. Well, we'll go ahead and gauge that as well. All right. I know, Jacob, you have to get over to Confidential. Thank you very much. And I'll see you on Sunday. All righty. All right. With that said, why don't we go ahead and go to the chat room a little bit? We're going to let Jeremy read a few of these, and then I'll go with our parting shot. So go ahead, Jeremy.
I was excited about Charlie Batch. I thought he was going to get hurt the way he ran into it. Didn't they hire Tanana, a pitcher, to teach him how to slide? Didn't make it, though. Yes, they actually did.
Right, next
and
one.
He also said, Dom DeRubis also says, by the way, I've been known as Dirty Dom for almost 10 years when they were talking about Dominic Mysterio.
Okay, we got Burgess.
But Cy Young would be disgusted to see a trophy with a name on it going to a guy with 0 complete games. LOL. Absolutely, he'd roll over in his grave.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, James. Thanks for bringing it up. And of course, Dom DeRubis foreskins forever. That's fine.
Yeah, it's what he's always called.
All right. So with that said, Jeremy, why don't you give us your parting shot?
My parting shot is, do you realize that as good as the NFC North, as good as the Lions, as good as the Packers, the Vikings, and the Bears have been historically, there's a 10% chance that we could have 4 brand new quarterbacks in the NFC North next season.
Scary thought. Okay. Candy, parting shot.
I actually have 2, so bear with me, because I have one that's a little more on the depressing side and then one that's on the good side. So for the depressing side, condolences go out to Milwaukee Bucks head coach Adrian Griffin on the death of his 2-year-old grandson, Jace Griffin. It appears he's died of natural causes. There is no foul play or anything. His mom had reported that he was having respiratory infection earlier in the week. But to lose a 2-year-old, that's just heartbreaking. So my condolences go out to the whole family and everybody involved. On a lighter side, congratulations to the Milwaukee Brewers and Sal Frelick on his Major League debut. He debuted Saturday night on the network. They were televising the game, so everybody got to see his debut. He went 3 for 3, runs scored, and 2 ribbies. He is the first Brewer in franchise history to have 3+ hits and 2 ribbies in his Major League debut. He is now the second Brewer to have 5 hits and a home run in his first 3 career games. The only other player to do it in Brewer history, Paul Molitor. Look how he turned out and what a career he had. Go
Hall
Sal.
of Fame.
Okay, I only have one thing to say at the end here. That says Detroit Tigers taking on the Miami Marlins this weekend. I'll be curious to see how many press credentials are issued out for this. I certainly have applied for all 3 series. I'm not worried about how many games I go to. I'm so buried in this book, it's ridiculous, but I'd like to see the Tigers and the Marlins nonetheless. But the main thing is this, okay? Forget about the press credentials issued. I want to see exactly what the exact attendance figures are going to be for Miguel Cabrera weekend. If this team does not hit 30, if Miguel Cabrera is as well liked as he is, I will have a lot of answers as to what I really think of Miami as a baseball town. You can bring in Ohtani, you can bring in a lot of people, but Miguel Cabrera won a World Series for this franchise.
And they drafted him
in 2003. And the Tigers acquired him, and Dave Dombrowski fleeced the Marlins because although the Marlins forced him to take Dontrell Williams. So
Yeah.
I'm expecting no less than 30,000 a game in Miami for the Marlins for the Miguel Cabrera series. This should be a series between the Tigers and the Marlins. Okay. A traditional team with Miguel Cabrera. I expect a 90,000 fan weekend. Period. I'm anxious to see the end result, and we will talk about it on 108 Stitches Baseball Talk next Tuesday night, which, by the way, Jeremy, you will be a part of that show, just to let you know.
I don't wanna. Just kidding.
All right, with that said, okay, just want everybody to know that the Sports Exchange is being broadcast around the world. The audio version of the Sports Exchange can be heard on iHeartRadio, Apple, Spotify, Google, wherever you get your podcast. Please hit the red subscribe button on YouTube, South Florida Tribune. We're striving for 1,000 subscribers. Please also comment, like, and share the broadcast. Want to be a guest? Boy, we had a great turnout in the chat room tonight. I know Jeremy Ballrick's going to go ahead and reach out to some of these people to get them on in a future date. Send topic ideas, southfloridatribune@gmail.com. Want to advertise cost efficiently? Call me at 954-304-4941. We broadcast live on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. Our website's www.southfloridatribune.com, Twitter @TribuneSouth. Candy isn't behind the scenes tonight. She's front and center, but normally behind the scenes. And I know Jeremy Ballrick's in a happy mood. Going to be laughing all night, like what he says on post-production. Coming up later this summer, the Motor City Mad Mouth Show will be debuting in the Eagle Corp Media Studios in Boca Raton, Florida, owned by Dr. Edwin Hernandez, who will be my co-host. We'll keep you posted. Eagle Corp is a technology-based company and sponsoring my book called Adjusting to New Media. So with that said, we appreciate, on behalf of Jacob Christner, Denzel Snipes, Jeremy Ballrick, Candy Ebling, and myself, anything you want to add, Candy, to promote real quick?
Thanks, everybody. Just keep watching and subscribe. That little red button down there in the corner, hit that subscribe, share, like it with all your friends. Tell everybody about it.
And the last chat that we're going to leave on tonight will be one that Jeremy's going to read.
It hurts to know that an Oriole hit like 5 more home runs than he did and screwed him out of 2 Triple Crowns in a row. That would be Crush Davis, if I remember right.
Right. Okay. Well, we'll post them all in the comments. So once again, on behalf of Jacob Christner, Denzel Snipes, Jeremy Ballrick, Candy, and myself, Motor City Mad Mouth, thank you very much for joining us. And we will see you next week on the Sports Exchange.